Now, these glucose molecules are big. They're bigger than oxygen, they're bigger than potassium, they're big, and they're sharp. So here they are floating around in the bloodstream through circulation, and they cannot be used. Okay, just like if you have anemia, you don't have enough iron for your oxygen to sit on, right? It has to attach to be able to be used. The same thing for glucose. It has to stick to an insulin in order to be used.
Right.
So if you have insulin on board, your pancreas is producing insulin,
Yeah.
but you had an entire pizza for supper with a Coke.
I've never done
You eat then you end up with too much sugar to attach to that insulin.
Right.
Not enough insulin. So that sugar can't be used. It just floats through the bloodstream. So imagine now we've got this big glucose molecule in the bloodstream. We know that that bloodstream is one cell thick to allow for things to come in and out. It can't get out because it can't attach to insulin. So it's just coursing around the circulation. And it ends up into those tiny little capillaries in your eyes, in your brain, in your lungs, in your kidneys, in the tips of your fingers, in the tips of your toes. Wherever those vessels turn into tiny little vessels, that's where the damage happens. That's why people that have diabetes, even when they're like, oh, you have pre-diabetes, then damage happens in those tiny little macrovascular areas. So that's where we see those changes. So somebody that hasn't worn glasses all of a sudden needs glasses. Somebody who has never had any spinal damage or injuries, they end up with some tingling in their fingers or toes. Why? Because that glucose is actually scouring the inside of the vessel as it courses around through the system, waiting for an insulin to attach. There's a number of different ways that connection happens and why that connection doesn't happen. But the fact is it scours the inside, and that's why we call it arteriosclerosis, right? Hardening of the arteries is that de-epithelialization of the interior of the wall of the vessel. So when that happens, right, imagine you've been using a rake all day long. You're raking the leaves. By the end of the day, you've got calluses and you've got blisters. That's what happens inside your vessels. And that's why people end up with these issues all over.